It's neither here nor there. Whatever. It's kind of the same, like being spicy, or what was the things that you said? Spicy or
Yes. So what I said, since we are live now, um, and I guess I need to be recording this one too. What I said was that hot is not a flavor, hot is a sensation. And there are two categories of things. Flavors are sweet and sour and bitter and tangy and things like that. And
and hot.
no, hot is something that you feel, like I feel dizzy. I feel pain. I feel pain in my mouth.
Well, some
That
people
is
feel
hot.
sweet. Some people feel sweet too, but that's I don't know.
JT. So you've gone. You're doing football coach, English professor. Like, where's the middle ground?
Yeah. Oh, well, Okay. Well,
And
you
this is
know
a
what?
this is a new person here, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. I've never seen you in chat before. Hi, welcome.
Hey, what's up, Daniel? Okay, so why don't we do this then? Just because we were just having a little bit of fun, driving around a little bit, man. We got a pretty big um, show today. This is going to be a little bit different for us. This is kind of our first remake, I guess, right, JT, of the off season. What off season Teague's take look like? We got the preseason, we got the in season, the postseason. Now we're in the off season, and it's going to be fun. I'm really interested in this, but before we even get going, welcome to everybody from the Bama Standard.
Oh, I'm not even supposed
Um,
to see. I'm slipping. I feel like we hadn't done this in a while. We're already showing. We're already showing the guest.
that's okay.
All right.
I,
Well,
I was fine with that because we had the pre show and all that. I'm good. I'm good.
Man,
Um,
I'm cool with the family. Man, I'm cool.
yeah, so I think we're good, and we'll roll through it. So as we always say, man, this is a family show. This we just have a good time. We don't have the big production like everybody else. We sitting in the house. JT sitting in his room. At least he's not showing his diploma anymore. That I had to help pay for it. It was sitting on the floor forever. I'm just so glad that I don't see that no more. We got a guest here. I have no idea why he got a fly swatter right behind him on the right of his shoulder,
Look, man. Look, man.
you have
Hey.
time to explain that later, man. Don't even worry about that right now. I was just saying, ain't no flies out right now anyway. It's cold outside. I'm welcoming in everybody from the Bama Standard. Thank you guys for being able to simulcast with us. I really appreciate that. Make sure you're hitting the like over on this side, subscribing to the channel. Make sure you're subscribing to Teague's Take. Let's do all these things that we need to do to continue to grow both of these great networks. All right. And so there's a lot that we got to be talking about. First of all, make sure you go back to our menu. I guess that's the best way for me to put it. And make sure you look at my little 20-minute. It wasn't a big rant.
18 minutes and
Eight
some change.
18 minutes of me talking about recruiting and how much of a hassle it is and why I don't like it. I did drop the F bomb in there at one point in time, so
Oh,
I I don't
yeah.
know if JT bleeped it or whatever it
I did
was, but
not, but it sure
uh,
asked me about the ads and like how many it like specifically asked me how many F words were in there, and I was like, probably none.
yeah, there was one. I did say it was effed up, but I used the whole word. I didn't say that, so it didn't come up on the shorts though. So I don't know if we get in trouble for that or not, but I apologize. So here's the rundown. We got some questions we got to answer, right? Saban, DeBoer, what's the recruiting look like? How much difference is going to be? We got a great guest that's going to be able to help us dissect in this a little bit, give our opinions, our hot takes, and things of that. Who's in and out? We need to update everybody on that. Um, with the transfer portal and just recruiting in general. Who the people that signed early, um, who's actually left from that piece, and should we be panicking about any of this stuff? Second half of the show, we're gonna talk about do some film study. Kevin Riley, man, I'm excited to be able to show you guys this film of Kevin Riley and Daniel Hill, and give a little bit of our evaluation of what we think these guys look like and what we think about how they will fit into the scheme that they're going to be running. They're both running backs. Okay. Um, So before I actually give a formal introduction of our guests, I think we need to start the show officially, JT. So why don't we go ahead and hit this thing and start this show right now? Okay, so this is a tremendous Wednesday evening, and man, let me tell you, man, I'm so happy to be here. I've been looking forward to this show. Again, like I said, just because it's a new feel for us, and some great things that we're trying to get accomplished over this off season. We got a lot to talk about. I gave a little bit of tease about the topics that we got to be able to talk about. Man, uh, it's been a whirlwind. I don't know how I really feel about this whole recruit. It's stressful to me, man. It's stressful just because we got so many people moving around. And what I don't even have on the topic that I need to talk to our guests about and to JT is now Jim Harbaugh, or yeah, Harbaugh is out of Michigan. What is that going to do with this whole landscape of recruiting? How are we going to dive into some of those people? Are we going to be trying to pluck some of their dudes, or are we just going to do what we do and still beat Bama? Okay. So before I bring in the guests, let's go ahead and bring JT back real fast. I know he got a little button that he can hit over there. And so, JT, I don't know if you saw the news. I know you got every alert. How many alerts you got coming into your phone, man? That, between NFL, college,
Oh, you
Reddit.
want to know like how many sports alerts do I have coming to my phone, or just alerts in general?
Yeah, sports alerts first. Yes.
Very, very few.
But you got a lot of what? Chess and math alerts and spelling bee alerts. What is that? What do you
Um,
mean?
it's a lot of it is a lot of chess alerts because I am playing chess with a bunch of people. But most of it, I actually really try to not have alerts come to my phone because I find it super annoying.
That's why
Um,
you don't answer my text. That's why I take you
well, yeah, I
because I
mean,
don't get
after
no text
once,
alert from.
yeah. So right now I'm in the podcast focus mode, so only like 3 people can actually contact me right now. You being one of them.
All
Um,
right.
but once the bedtime starts, like if it's not baby alerts, like the little baby cams, I don't
Yeah.
get much. Um, so usually, how I get notified of things is um, people sending me messages. Like Glenn Wilson sent me a message on Discord in the group chat and said, "I didn't think that Harbaugh was actually going to go to the Chargers," and I was like, "Oh, well, I guess Harbaugh went to the Chargers." I didn't get an alert about that, but that's how I found out. And people like Justin, who was in the chat, sending texts about Ryan Williams. I didn't know that either until he sent me that text message. So I get score updates from like the Mavs and the Cowboys sometimes, but
Okay. Well, here's my only request I have from you, and I'm okay with you not having alerts and all that kind of stuff. Only thing we want back when we send you something, if we send you a text, you don't even have to reply with an answer. Just give us the thumbs up, thumbs down, the heart, the exclamation point, just so we know you got it.
all of you
Just
have
so we know you got it.
all of you have iPhones. It says, you see the little thing underneath that says delivered? That means I got it.
Delivered doesn't mean you got it. That
It's
means it went through and it was sent to your phone. That doesn't
no,
mean you actually looked at it.
it's end to end encrypted. That means I got it. Now, whether I looked at it, yes, you don't know whether I looked at it or not, but it did. It hit the phone.
I'm saying don't ghost us, man. I mean, if I'm in your favorite section, which hopefully I am,
You are.
okay.
Do you need the proof?
Just you want to show it? Let me
Yeah.
see.
See, look.
Don't try to add it.
See,
Oh, the hell that is.
it says dad. Well, see,
What's
I hadn't clicked on your beaches ad.
what's that little Texas thing you got over there though?
That's a group chat from high school because I'm still cool.
Let's see this.
There's 6 people in here.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and get to our people, man, because we got a very special person here, and I love this guy because he shoots it straight. He's an expert. He's been doing this a long time, more than us. He actually has his own podcast, right? It's actually called In My Own Words. I love that about him. He's also a UA alum, so he loves the university. But we like him particularly for this show, outside of those things, because he's senior reporter for the Alabama football via Touchdown Alabama, the magazine, who y'all are from. And I got some beef with him because I think he knows something about this stat that I sent you, JT, about me and the scoring and me and Jameer Gibbs.
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that
We were
kind of
actually
stuff.
talking about Jameer Gibbs a little pre-show when, since I do
Okay.
have to put him on blast a little bit because I send out invites that tell our guests when to show up before the show. I usually tell them 15 minutes before we air, which is 8 o'clock Central. I'm getting the show. I'm doing all things. I'm getting the video set up, and his face pops up on my screen at 7:35.
Oh, well, that big face he got, it probably took up the whole screen too. And that's why we need to bring him into the screen right now. Man, everybody give a round of applause to Stephen M. Smith. I know he can't see nothing through them glasses because he ain't cleaned them glasses up in a minute. He probably,
He
people that
did
wear
pre-show. I
glasses,
watched
they'll,
him.
huh?
He did pre-show. I watched him.
Oh, he did wipe them
I
off?
did. I did do it pre-show though. I did do it pre-show, but man, it's always good to be a part of this family right here with the legendary George and the analytical legend JT. It's fun, man. It's fun.
Yes, well, this is great. I'm so glad you're here, man. And make sure you guys follow this guy on X. Coaching M. Smith is his handle there. I don't know how much he does on IG. Totally different name. We're not going to go through this. We rehashed
You
it,
know
but it's Universal World
You know what?
9019.
I'll say this. I had to go on ahead and get the IG one go, man.
Oh, it's gone?
It's gone, man. I had to
Okay,
get that one
okay.
go. If I do bring it back, it will be under a name everybody can understand. Because I've got it from family now. They like, man, I tried to find you. It's UNIZ. What the world? I'm trying to send you some Christmas money, and I can't even figure out your name. I'm like, auntie, my bad, auntie. We will get that fixed. We get that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
See, she said, we're not asking you to be better. We're asking you to do better.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Well, we're glad you're here, brother, and thank you so much for what you bring to everything that you do. Your own show, the Bama Standard, and then coming here and getting into this with us because we want to really pick your brain because we've had to kind of switch a little bit. When I originally talked to you about this, I really wanted to hit into what Saban, just the way he recruits, what you've seen over the years, what his philosophy has kind of been, and now. I think it's great actually because maybe with the little short time that the Brewers been there, have you seen any differences in maybe just style, tactics, in the differences that they recruit?
I mean, it's kind of the same because if you think about it, Coach Saban is still a fixture in that recruiting too. Like he's not on-field coach, and we get that, but from his CEO perspective, he brings DeBoer into the office. He brings the coaching staff in. He says, "Hey, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm seeing." Coach Saban from the office, he's making phone calls to parents. I mean, he's making phone calls to a lot of these kids, so he's still a fixture of it. I think DeBoer, his style is he's getting more of just the kids that are just hungry, that just really, really want it versus when Saban finally got the ball rolling in Tuscaloosa, it was, okay, Bama's going to recruit itself. We'll get any 5-star kid we want, any 4-star kid we want, just come on in here. Versus at the beginning, it was, we're trying to build something here. So I feel like not much has necessarily changed. It's just now DeBoer is kind of getting his sea legs under him in terms of, I'm no longer in the Pac-12, I'm in the SEC now. So I got to recruit a different kind of athlete. I got to recruit a different kind of mindset. And Saban is kind of navigating him through, this is how we do it here. This is where you put your optics at now. So it's kind of just a repositioning for DeBoer. But good thing for him, he kept guys like Freddie Roach on staff that know the state. He kept guys like Robert Gillespie on staff that know the South. He kept guys like David Ballou and a few others on staff that understand how to recruit this program. And then the guys he's brought in, the coaches he's brought in, Kane Womack, he knows the South. Not only at South Alabama, but was at Ole Miss. He played at Arkansas, was a fullback there. You bring in Coach Mo Linguist, who coached at Texas A&M, coached in the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys. He was also at Texas A&M coaching cornerbacks. So he's also brought in guys that get the South, that get how to recruit these young men.
Okay, and I know it's early. There are guys that are recommitting and signing. Do you have an early grade? Say just in the few weeks that he's been here, how do you grade him out just on the recruiting landscape thus far?
On the recruiting landscape thus far, I give him B- thus far. And because reason why I give him a B-, if you talk to a lot of these kids in the South, they don't know him. So he's got to actually foster these relationships right now. And so he and his staff, they have been getting out here. They've been hitting the road, especially in the state of Alabama, going to several different high schools, kind of immersing themselves in that culture. So I give him a B- for stepping out the comfort zone and going out there. So you got to let these kids know who you are. So, for example, when Freddie Roach walks into a high school, they know who Freddie Roach is. When Robert Gillespie walks into a high school, they know who he is. They don't know who is Kangan the boy. I don't know you from a can of paint. You got to show me who you are. So the fact that he's getting on the plane with Coach Courtney Morgan and all of these new coaches he's brought in, and they're actually going to these young men and putting themselves out there, that's the first step. That's the major part of it. So I give him a B- for at least starting that process and getting out there.
Okay. So JT, just because I heard you, it's like when you eat that food, when you taste something that's like really good or really bad, you give that little or JT made this little sound when he said something when you said B-. So I need to know what he's thinking about this.
Yeah, I thought that was too low, man. Like he got Ryan Williams to recommit, and
that was huge.
2024 class, because we talked about this pre-show. There's only 2 dudes who left. You still got the whole class intact. That's an easy A. That's at least 95. Just keeping the class that was already coming in from not jumping off the cliff and going somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, look, I need to do this real fast because y'all getting it really hot in here, and I love the energy and the tempo, and I appreciate all this kind of stuff. So I need to cool y'all off just for a quick second, right? I need to cool y'all off for a little bit, and it's cold out here in Texas a little bit, but I actually think about this all the time, JT, from week to week, because I'm driving by and I see these old cheap little pools sometimes on the side of the road or something, and it always makes me want to go to the beach, right? And then I want to bring it home a little bit. How do I get this sandy little area where I can just walk into this nice little piece? So we do have a proud sponsor, someone that's actually presenting this show for us today. We were talking about this pre-show. What happens when you have someone that's, sponsoring your show? And we're very thankful for this company because not only do they have a dynamic product, you need to hear about it and see it. So I need to introduce you to Beaches LLC. Let me tell you about Beaches LLC. Yes, Beaches LLC is your source in the state of Alabama and the Florida Panhandle for exquisite quartz sand beach pools by Biodesign USA. A Biodesign beach sculpted pool is crafted with beach entries, customized seating areas, and swimming zones, and they all can be personalized to your swimming needs. The Biodesign swimming pool is meant to immerse you in your surrounding environment. The illusion of a truly beautiful beach can be created and extended onto the patio area, creating one seamless shore environment. Let them help you turn your dream backyard escape into reality with an eco-friendly, more durable, less time, and less expensive to maintain, totally customizable pool. To learn more about turning your dream into a reality, please visit their website at www.yourbackyardbeach.com. You know what I think this thing is so good. I'm hoping that they actually start to try to do something for these players. Can you imagine these guys are getting houses and homes and other kind of stuff? What if they rolled up on something? Because see, I don't know if y'all saw that article on athletic.net where they putting these Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces out in the middle of the field. Can you imagine taking someone to a nice little home out here where there's one of these beaches just sitting there? They're like, hey man, go walk off into this thing. You don't take no steps or nothing, man. You just walk in there like sand. That shit plush, man. I'm telling you, I'm kind of excited about that for real. All right. So I need to ask because you guys were talking about this. Who of the class, and I don't know, right? Because I haven't studied it that much. Of the class that signed in December, the early signing, have we got everybody back? Who have we lost, Steven? What does that look like with the class that already committed early?
So only two Georgia lost, only two, and that's the defensive back Jameer Grimsley, the 4-star. He hit the portal. I think he's now JT at Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken. If he's not, correct me if I'm wrong, but Jameer Grimsley is out. And then the quarterback, the 5-star Jillian Sayin, is out. He is at Ohio State. Those are the only two that were lost.
So does that go into JT? Is that another reason why you're saying that's pretty damn good? Or you? Well, let me say this: how much of this are you giving credit to the new coach versus Saban still staying around and trying to convince these guys to ride it out, even though he's in the background? I'm asking JT that first. How much influence you think Saban really got in this?
That's a great question. I don't know, but I hope it's some, because that bodes well for future. Um, if he's going to be in the background, also trying to attract talent, recruiting going forward, then that would be nice. If it's not, I mean, I think it's a win-win, because if it's not, then that kind of lets you know that you can start moving on, that you don't need him. But if he is, then that's also a pretty good thing, because then you know that you've got something still going forward as long as he wants to be around and having an office in Bryant-Denny Stadium. So, but I really don't know. At the end of the day, I think the kids still got to know that Nick Saban ain't the one that's going to be on the field coaching. It's still going to be run the way that Kalen DeBoer wants it to be run. It's going to be, it's his show now. It's going to be his product on the field. It's going to be his offense and Coach Womack's defense. And I would like to think that they're smart enough to realize that.
Yep. So, is there any confliction with the head coach or the AD? So let me say this first. So I think this is great that Saban is still there, because I think behind the scenes he is also continuing the fundraising. He's the one that's already been talking to alumni,
NIL collective, man. NIL
NIL.
collective.
He's doing that. So he's built these relationships with these people, because I know giving money has a lot to do with trust. I know him. I've been around this and I like this. So having him sitting in that chair is one piece, right? And I think that's great. And so my other piece I'm going to say it's a negative side, right? But I think it's something you think about. How do you think, Steven, this makes, does it make anyone else nervous? Does it make Greg Byrne nervous? Like, hey, this is kind of out of my control. This is like, Saban is like the AD, but he ain't really in the chair. Does it affect Coach DeBoer, where he's thinking, hey, I got this guy sitting on my shoulder. I know he ain't calling the plays, but he's still got a lot of god doggone power here. And he's sitting up on a nice, I wonder where he got him sitting at. Did they make him, what did they do with his office? You took a thing on the office? Where's Saban sitting at? Good Lord.
I mean, to me, guys, I don't think. Well, first of all, for DeBoer, I don't think he sees it as pressure, because he wanted to come here. Like, if you thought this was pressure, you don't sign a piece of paper to come here. He comes to Alabama on the plane, gets off the plane, and he has his introductory press conference January 13th, which was a Saturday. I was there, and he talked about this was the only place I would have left Washington for. This is the only place. He's like, man, I get the pressure that's here, but I came for the pressure that's here. So I don't think DeBoer is feeling the pressure. I think if anything, in the back of Greg Burns' mind, he knows my success is tied to this hire. Greg Burns knows this. Just like even in death, people honor Mal Moore because Mal Moore's success was tied to the hire of Nick Saban. And with all that Nick Saban did and accomplished at Alabama, which was an awful lot, people still to this day, even in death, reveal Mal Moore. So Greg Burns knows, hey, I got a lot riding on this puppy. This better hit because my name is tied to this. Just like my name is tied to Nate Oates, because I hired him to coach Alabama men's basketball. My name is tied to Kalen DeBoer, because I hired him to be the one to succeed Nick Saban. So I think it's even more on Greg Burns than what it is on Kalen DeBoer.
Yes. Can anybody look up see is Alabama beating Auburn or not in this basketball game? Since you
So Stephen Burton didn't want us to actually tell him to score. But since you asked, I have to. I'm sorry. I'm giving you about 3 seconds, Stephen, to mute me, because here it goes. There's 6 minutes left in the second half. Alabama is up 65-60.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'll say this, and this is my quick segment about basketball. I did not want Charles Bediako to turn pro. I wanted Chucky to come back for another year. That boy 7'2". I want Chucky to come back. When Charles went pro, I was like, man, golly, we got no big man. So you bring in Grant Nelson from South Dakota State, one of them North Dakota State, South. We came from one of the two Dakotas. So you bring in Grant Nelson, and then you bring in Armando Estrada. He comes in here, and I'm like, I don't know how Nate Oates is going to get this thing to work, but he's found a way to get this thing to work. This group is 11-5. This group is like 11-5. Can go 12-5. It takes care of Auburn. They found a way, and I'm just happy they found a way.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I'm hoping to get this on basketball games, or at least one this year as well. Okay, so we got a couple minutes left in this segment here, so I do want to ask this question. And in the second segment that we're going to go into, I ain't forgot about the doggone fly swatter back there, so I'm going to ask about that when we get ready to go to it. We're not going to talk about it right now. I told you, just leave it right where it is. Okay, so now there was so much angst, right? I think there was so much angst when we actually start hitting the portal, when it opened up and everybody going. I was kind of the same way, like, oh man, we're losing our dudes. You got 29 or whatever guys in there. Are we supposed to be panicking? Are we okay? Or what is the real, well, how do you feel personally? And then how do you think it's feeling in Tuscaloosa, I guess, Steven?
Oh, okay. So the panic question first. There was a lot of panic, especially when you saw guys like King of Downs hit the portal. That brought a lot of panic. When you saw just different guys, especially guys that were starters, hit the portal, that brought panic. But I think as it all started to boil down, if Saban's retirement taught us anything, it taught us, okay, we're about to really see who's committed to the program for the culture, for the pageantry, for the history, who's committed to the program versus who's just committed to be coached by Nick Saban and who's committed for the NIL check. I felt like that Saban's retirement taught us that. We're about to really see who wants the program for real versus who's coming to, I guess, Coach Saban's going to help me become an All-American. He's going to help me become first-team All-SEC. He's going to help me get to the NFL and all this stuff. So we start to see that now with Saban's retirement. But at this point, there's no sense of panicking just due to DeBoer made a splash in the portal. You got Gurmy Bernard from Washington, who basically replaces what you lost in Isaiah Bond, who goes to Texas. You get a real deal athletic center who can snap the ball. Praise Jesus. Blasford in here. Thank God. Got that guy. And then you get a quarterback in Austin Mack, who's 6'6", 230, coming up from Washington. And of course, the portal opens back up on April 15th. And with Jim Harbaugh going to the NFL, leaving Michigan, you got to ask this question: does Brian Kelly leave LSU for Michigan? Because Brian Kelly has stated that Michigan is his dream job.
So what's that tie? Is that what it was? Because I'm trying to figure out why would he want to go to Michigan? But you're saying he made a statement.
So he has mentioned that Michigan is his dream job. Now, does Brian Kelly do that? Because if he does that, now you got Michigan and LSU players kind of hopping in the portal. And when that portal opened back up, here's Kalen DeBoer looking here. You know, we got 79 players on scholarship players on the active roster. You need 85. So that's 6 players. You can get out of the portal right there. So this Jim Harbaugh decision to go, does it open up where Brian Kelly bolts to Michigan from LSU?
Okay. So JT, how do you feel about this, the panic piece? How did you feel personally with it when, well, you wasn't getting all the alerts like I was.
No, I was gonna hold on text messages.
Yeah, someone leaving, somebody leaving, another one left. I'm like, what is
before JT answers, I'm gonna say this. People were calling me when everyone was leaving. They're like, Steven, why he left? Steven, what did he do? Steven, track this guy down. I'm like, y'all, first off, I'm not Jesus. That's first and foremost. That's it. Second off, y'all, look, these kids got their own mind. They got their parents. They got agents. There's nothing I can do about the situation. Well, Steven, can you put in the call for Nick Saban? You think Nick gonna pick up the phone for me right now?
Well, no, but Steven, they said you can see the future because the glasses you got on, they think, man, and they figure you can see all kinds of shit. Anyway, all right, man. I'm gonna quit playing, man.
Look, man. It's a good thing if I can see what I'm having for breakfast the next day.
Yeah. All right. JT, so what was your reaction to some of this stuff early on with people leaving?
With people leaving, I didn't have any panic. Mainly because I was trying to find the message that I had sent in the Bama Discord as it was going on, but it was something to the effect of the team is going to be better long term if those players that were here just to play for Nick Saban and no other reason leave. They're better off because if a lot of coaches all the time talk about what's your why. If your why that you were here is because that guy is coaching and only that guy is coaching, then if you stay and that's still your reason, then your effort is probably going to tank. Your willingness to do things, whether it be your effort in the classroom or at practice, or it can permeate many different things. So I was kind of like, look, if they want to go, you should. If I was head coach, I would bring him in, say why, like, hey, you just want to fill me in on why you're trying to go, and if your answer is, well, Coach Saban's not the coach anymore, I would say, all right, thank you for your time. The door is from whence you came.
That ain't what you would have said. You would have said what Malachi Moore said.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what I said.
Which those shirts better sell like hotcakes.
Oh, he about to get paid. That's gonna be bigger than any NIL deal that he
them shirts better sell.
Okay, so this is my piece, and I'm gonna give a shout out to our good buddy here, the president of Tide, Texas. He's probably the one that kind of.
So hold on. So the Bama Standard said, "Say it, George." So I think what he said was, "If they ain't wearing crimson, them."
That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said.
I should have the screenshot.
What did you have that button? Where'd you get that button from? That's
The,
the
the
first
button, the
time,
button's
man.
built into the board. I was trying to find it earlier, but then I just found it.
Oh man.
No, but see, I had a whole speech prepared. I know you probably have never watched the Boondocks, but if you
Yes,
but if you
yes.
have, you remember when
Yes.
Wiley was sitting in there and they were selling chocolate?
Yes.
That whole speech, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go look it up because that's what I would
That
have
whole
said to the kids.
that whole speech. Oh,
Oh well, maybe
bro,
you
that was
put that on
legendary.
the short. How long is the speech? Maybe you put it on the short somewhere. Put it on YouTube.
Well,
JT.
he said, "You plane you came in on, the socks with the bezel." There was a lot
Them
more.
shoes.
Yuck mouth teeth. And if I see you in the street, I'm gonna slap the out you.
Oh,
That was
Lord.
legendary. That was legendary. That was
Great
legendary.
speech.
Oh
No
man.
problem,
that
Steve.
was good.
I
Okay.
mean, that was man.
All right. So let me get to this. I'm gonna calm it down again. Man, we gotta go back to the beach one more time. It's getting hot up in here, man. So John Anu Fried Check, who is the president of Titan, Texas, actually sent me. I don't know. Maybe he just, you know how you get these just random things. You're like, man, you just kind of needed that. And he sent me a text message, and he said, he said, Bama still has at least. I added at least because it's kind of changed since the time you sent it. 48 of the top 200 recruits in the nation. Basically, and 20 of them are on offense and 27 on defense.
Oh man.
And so he was saying, and he had it broken down by position: 3 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 5 wide receivers, 4 interior offensive linemen, 3 offensive tackles, 1 tight end, 9 defensive tackles, edge rushers 6, inside linebackers 4, cornerbacks 5, safeties 3. Right, so that gives us the 48 or 49 that we have. And in the portal, he said there's still 35 top 100 recruits in the portal. 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 4 wide receivers, 2 inside offensive linemen, 3 offensive tackles, 1 tight end, 7 defensive tackles, 5 edge rushers, 2 inside linebackers, 5 cornerbacks. So basically, said they were still we're still loaded with the current roster that we have, and there's still people in the portal, and one more opened up like this that we're gonna have some pickings that we're able to do. And so basically, he was telling me, whatever you feeling, whatever angst you feeling, screw that, because there's not very many teams that still have the roster that we have built. Maybe Georgia, is still kind of stacked. Texas is doing good. Ohio State, Texas A&M, but his question to me was how many teams actually have 48 of the top 200 recruits on their current roster. So I said, you know what? You the man. And I'm going to give you a shout out because I didn't do that kind of research. And I said, we need
That's
to
some
make
JT type stuff right there.
you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, we got to have a graphic for this or whatnot. And so, shout out to John O and Titan, Texas for being able to put something like this. And so my answer to about panicking, no, because after he gave it, I was like, man. And now knowing that we're going to have the support of benefactors, right? Our AD, Saban, and everything else. That man, we're gonna put up a fight. We ain't going down swinging. I mean, without swinging.
Look. As long as Coach says still doing this,
Right, he coming back. That was the biggest one, wasn't it? Got him
yes,
re-signed. How old is that man though, for real? Because he was there when I was there. He got it.
man. Said keep hiding his age. Like he will not come out and say it. That man keep hiding his age.
Well, he drinking some. So, okay. So we're gonna go ahead and transition to the second part of the show.
No, are we? Did we?
Right
Did
now.
we chat about Harbaugh going to the Chargers?
No, we didn't. So let's do that.
All right. Well, Harbaugh's going to the Chargers.
Yeah. Okay.
And-
Here's my question. Here's my question for you guys. Harbaugh's going to the Chargers. Portal's going to open. 2. I'm giving you an over under. Do you think it'll be over 2 guys or lower than 2 guys that actually transfer from Michigan to Alabama? Numbers 2. More or under? Steven, how many guys do we get from Michigan? If any. It could be 0. I don't know. I'm just giving you number 2. You going over or under?
I actually got it right at 2. I think we look at one of their defensive linemen.
Oh, come on, man. You
I got
Always
it.
have to pick a half number.
Yeah,
All right,
1.5.
fine. I'm gonna go under. I got an offensive lineman.
Okay.
I got an offensive lineman. Primarily a tackle.
Yeah, they have some big linemen. What about you, JT? What'd you think?
I would have taken the under on that as well. I think that I really don't think that Michigan's going to have the attrition that Alabama had. I think a lot of the guys at Michigan are actually there because they wanted to play for Michigan, not just the Jim Harbaugh. I think that's why they have so many damn seniors on their team, and that's why they don't have very many 5-stars on their team. Those players have been there for a while. They're there for the program. They were not. I think a lot of them were not there for Jim Harbaugh, and I think that we can look at Jim Harbaugh missing damn near half the season,
6 games,
and seeing how they rallied around Jerome Moore. Anyway, I don't. That was an actual team. I think it's very clear that what we had was not a team. It was a whole bunch of guys who were riding the brand and trying to be in the spotlight.
Okay. I would do with that. And I'm in agreement with you guys. I don't think we'll get that many, but I do think they're going to get poached because I think people in their conference and stuff will try to entice them with money, cash, whatever, just to try to tear them down a little bit, an Ohio State or something, just trying to pick their best guys off just so they have a better chance of beating them. That's my opinion on that, though. All right. So that's all of that. JT, you want to give you a little quick disclaimer a little bit, since we know we're going to have people listen to this and figure out when they need to switch up.
Yeah. So I think we are going to take just a small ad break here before we get to the film. So on the other side of that, we're going to be looking at the 2 running backs that we've got that are already signed. I think they're both early enrollees. They're both on campus already, right? And then after that, we're going to address some questions that I've been seeing in chat. One of them just came from Trainwreck. We've got another one from Slab Buster and things like that. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. So I think we're good to go.
Okay. All right. Well, okay, so what we're looking at here now is which one of these films you got up? This is
I think this is Daniel Hill.
this is Daniel Hill. Okay, so while he's putting this film up and getting it ready, Steven, why don't you kind of tell us what you know about him, where he's from, any measurables and stuff of that nature that do you have any of that off the top of your head, or did I throw you?
Oh no,
Yeah.
I got some of it right here, and then the rest of it I know I can pull up from UA right here.
Okay, so why don't you just give us some talking points about him a little bit that you already know about Mr. Daniel Hill.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the dude's a phenomenal. The dude's a powerful running back, compacted, 6 feet, about 230 pounds, but he's a compact running back, power running back. Now he doesn't have just the breakaway speed of Kevin Riley. When I look at Kevin Riley, he's just got straight on speed, just straight on burst explosion. But Daniel Hill runs hard from the pads, kind of reminds me of Brian Robinson when B-Rob came in 2017. Just a tough, hard-nosed runner, good in pass protection, not necessarily the straight line burst of speed. He can go. He does have a bit of a gear, but it's not like your Josh Jacobs, your Kenyon Drakes, your Jahmyr Gibbs of the world. Kind of reminds me of a bit of B-Rob, but he gives you the power running ability. He gives you the pass blocking aspect. And Daniel Hill, kind of an underrated pass catcher. They throw the ball to him out the backfield quite a bit. And he does have soft hands. He can catch the football. He can tuck it away, turn it, and get up and move. So athletic pass catcher, bruiser type guy, does have some speed, not necessarily breakaway. He's kind of, there's not really just one thing he's an A plus in. He's kind of a B plus, A minus to A across the board, which he's solid. He's solid, just not a guy that you would go, oh my gosh, that's special, but he's solid.
See, there's and I appreciate you saying that, right? Because I sent some messages to JT a little bit earlier saying, okay, what do I think about this? So I'm gonna come from an angle of this of the valuation piece a little bit. Listen, the guy's a great player. He's coming to Alabama, right? People spend a lot more time evaluating college players than I do, right? But as a coach, as a high school coach that had a lot of talent on our team and spent a lot of time speaking to college coaches about how they look, I want to be able to talk to maybe the young person who's watching this, who's not this type of player, and what their uh, highlight films need to look like. There's a
Right.
difference when you just doing that, but what you need to have to pique people's interest. So I need for y'all to try to separate that a little bit because when you're the man, you don't have to have all this. They kind of know it. But if you're the one who they're saying you're under recruited, you got exactly 1 minute to grab that college coach's attention. So you better have some things in your first 5 plays.
Yeah, I would say 3.
Is yes,
And and that's why, guys, going back to remember 2016, Josh Jacobs came late in that 2016 recruiting class out of a McLean High School in Tulsa. Jacobs came late, and that was because his recruiting tape didn't come out till late. And I remember it was Burton Burns who sat down. Shouts out to Burton Burns, by the way. It was Coach Burns who sat down and actually looked at the first 5 to 6 plays of Josh's tape, and he was like, "Who is this kid?" And Burton Burns was the one that said, "Saban, if you don't get your behind on this plane," Burton was the one that got saved on the plane to go look at Josh because Josh was under recruited. They had Josh as a 3-star, and Josh was just killing it at McLean Tulsa High School.
Okay, so one of the first things you got, specifically with running backs, one of the things that you need to be able to show is can you block, right? Whether it's
Right.
pass block or something else. So when you hit this tape and you see the big circle lined up on him, the first thing he shows, he gets up in his DB's butt and just drives the dude back, pancakes him. It's kind of embarrassing. Good Lord. Can you imagine being the other dude? Because at first I was like, the running back, I was looking at that play on the running back. Um, but then I realized that ain't who I was supposed to be looking at. I saw the circle. But anyway, so he pancakes this dude. So that's the first piece where he actually, yes, where he puts this guy underneath. Can you,
Stadium.
do you, first, hold on, JT, thank you for stopping it right here. This guy was on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
Look
he drove him for a first down and then put him in the dirt.
Yes, so if you're talking about toughness and the things that a coach wants to see, and I'm going to try to find that sheet for one of these episodes where I can show you the check boxes that you actually have because of, and part of my deal when I was a head coach, I did speak to coaches and I actually was given a sheet of, hey, these are the things that we're looking at and we're scoring, and you got to meet this minimum score before we even think about recruiting you. So anyway, this is one of them. Okay, you guys alluded to this on this next play. You can go ahead and let it go, JT. The next play, now, even as a running back, you need to be able to see if he can catch. What is he going to do? Now, this guy was playing in the slot.
Yeah,
They
quite a
ran him on
bit.
screens and some different things. So, as you can see, he's down here in the bottom. Yep, he was in as a number 2 wide receiver. Now, I like that. Yeah, as Steven said, really soft hands, being able to judge the ball, and all this kind of stuff. The only thing I would say about this highlight when you keep going into it, not this particular highlight, his reel, I'm sorry, is what kind of routes are you actually showing?
Mhm.
Again, nothing of this. If you're a wide receiver, you need to show an out to come back and all this kind of stuff. So it seemed like they kind of threw a lot of go balls to this guy. That he was just going to go out jump some people. So he was showing his athletic ability as well. Would y'all agree with that? Just I know we're going to show some more tape, but that's a pretty good over the shoulder.
Yeah, and for a lot of these guys coming out of high school, especially if you are the best player on the team, offensively, they're going to throw a lot of go balls to you. You're not going to have a diversified route tree. You're going to have a couple of routes. Quarterback may be good, may not be good at all, but they're going to give you a couple of routes. Just tell the quarterback, hey, man, if Junior over there is open, throw the ball up. Throw the ball up. Let Junior go high point.
Look at your matchup. If this guy has 4 or 5 stars, that guy does it. I don't care what the coverage is. Just throw it.
Just throw it.
Yep. And they probably should be saying, don't kick the ball to him. I know I've said that a lot of times.
Yes.
Please don't
but
kick the ball to him.
I do have to dock him some points on this play.
All right.
Because this kid is not supposed to tackle you.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially when you look like an official way back there.
Come on, man. You are. This ain't Pat McAfee. This is somebody else, and you are 6 foot 240. That guy's not supposed to tackle you.
Yeah.
You know, it's really not that big of a deal, but I would be clowning him on the sideline. That was something I'd be making fun of him for.
So basically, JT, you would be telling him, man, you get Steve and M. Smith tackle you?
Oh no, look, I get to coach returners, and by coach returners I mean kind of evaluate and then just kind of talk shit. On the first day, the first thing I tell the punt returners is, if you catch a punt and the first guy tackles you, you're fired. And the first thing I tell the kick returners are, if you catch a kick and you break one and the kicker tackles you, you're fired. Those are the 2 things that can't happen.
Well, maybe we need to show some highlight reels of some kickers that have actually destroyed some people from time to time. Maybe you got to put a disclaimer depending on who the kicker is. Okay.
Now, look, if you get tackled by Will Riker, I mean, that's Will Riker. You know.
Alabama has officially beaten Auburn.
Hip.
All right, then, Nate Oates. All right.
Yeah. All right, that's good. Okay, so this is another one just where he's passing, running straight up the field. Again, another fade ball, just going up and jumping. Right. So, to me, now you're remembering he's a running back and they got him lined up out here, wide receiver, and just jump balls. Right. So,
wow, just literally mossed that guy.
Yeah, he is. So, again, I'm speaking to a person who hasn't necessarily made it yet. When you're seeing that, make sure you diversify the early parts of your deal. So, in other words, which I've been told, if you have a jump ball, you don't need to put another jump ball and another jump ball, another jump ball all right behind each other, because they're saying, I already seen that. And these guys are impatient. And you got to remember that there are so many huddle tapes and clips. It's not just yours from your one high school, but they come from Texas and Mississippi and California and everywhere else, that you better get in what you need to get in the first few plays. Just like this, showing that. So when I saw this, JT, it made me actually think of the offense that they're going to be running at Bama. Him taking a handoff, cutting inside. It's a zone.
Yeah, which is actually quite opposite of what you'll see from Kyle Hill a lot.
Yeah. So this is I'm sorry. We switched.
No, this is I said Kyle Hill. I meant Kevin Riley. I don't know why I said Kyle Hill. I think that's a YouTuber that I watch.
You had Mississippi State on the mind there, JT.
Yeah. So there's another Moss. Again, this is where you see athleticism, right? You line up in the slot, you line up in the backfield, you're blocking guys down the field, you're tipping the ball up with one hand. I mean, it's unfair, what he's doing to guys, but that's why you get,
Oh, you're going to love this comment.
What's that? Oh my God, who is that? First of all, put your real name on the screen. Don't be coming to me with no bad one, because you get personal now. You know what I'm saying? You get personal. Yeah, you don't know anything about that, JT. But that was like our rivalry school. They were very, very good, and they actually used to run. They used to be like the old parish or something where they were just running wing T type of stuff with running backs, and it was very hard to defend.
By
Um,
the way, by the way, can I just say how much I hated going up against the wing T offense in high school?
uh,
I
Can I just
hate
say
game
that?
planning against it.
No, JT. See, you hate game plan against it, but I'm gonna tell you a story. So before we continue this, so y'all would not believe this, but my junior year playing high school football, my defensive coordinator thought it would be hilarious to put me at defensive tackle. They thought it would be hilarious.
how
So
much did you weigh?
150.
Yeah. Mm.
They put me at defensive tackle, and we were going up against a wing T offense. So they had the sniffer back, which was flanking, which was behind the right tackle. So every time they put him there, the play was always going to the right. So they snapped the ball. I don't know how I just split through the offensive line, but I split through, find the guy, and you know how they tell you if you can't make the tackle, just hold on for dear life till the help come. So
Yep.
I'm sitting here, grab the guy. I'm making the tackle myself now, but my teammates just thought it would be funny to jump on the guy and have me on the ground. I get up off the ground after the play is over in this go against this wing T play, and my defensive coordinator looks and goes, "Steve actually tackled the guy." I'm like, "Yes, I actually tackled the guy." And the head coach, who's in mid gumshoe, is like, "Who made the tackle? Steve? My God, it's gonna snow. Steve made the
Well, they probably were supposed to trap you, and they probably just said, "Nah, don't even block him. Just let him come on through. He ain't gonna make the tackle." But that's good. So, why don't you give us one more story now because we got this. Tell us about this
Okay.
damn. Tell us about the doggone fly swatter back here. Why you got this fly swatter
Oh,
up
all
on
right,
the?
yeah.
Okay,
Let me go
so
full. Let me get him on full screen then, since
Yeah,
he
yeah.
on.
We
okay.
gotta we gotta understand this.
Okay, so there's two reasons behind the floss water. So there's my reason and there's the actual reason. So my reason behind the fly swatter here is I want to bring back the no fly zone defense for Alabama. That's why. that's my reason. That's my reason behind the fly swatter in here. The actual reason, we had a fly come in the house and I had to kill it.
This dude here. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, you know what? All right, let's get back to this film, man. So he rolling. What do we have here, JT? Man, you clicking fast, man. Oh,
I'm
we're
just
going the
saying,
other
like
direction. We're going the other
JT,
direction. Basically,
JT
what you're
clicking
gonna
like Reggie
see,
Bush.
basically what you're gonna see out of him, and I like this because this is a different. This is a passing play. He's in the slot again, and he well, you can just see he's just running through tackles. Just a physical type guy who can catch the ball, and I don't know. I don't know that we need to go into is too much about him. I think you guys summed him up right. He's physical.
Yeah,
He can
I
run
wish I
around.
would have seen more physicality like out of this tape. Um,
Yeah.
things like this. If you're 240 pounds, use it because
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think when you watch I think when you watch Kevin
Kevin.
Riley, you're gonna
Yeah.
see a
Oh, it's
lot of
punishing.
yes.
It's punishing. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I did stop this, and so I got into it 3 minutes. I think I put 3 minutes of film on here, and I really didn't need to see anymore. I mean, I kind of knew who he was
Mhm.
after that. I think it was a 5 minute tape or something of that nature. Okay, is this the is this Kevin's deal or is
Yes,
this
this is
still him?
Kevin's.
Okay, so now you're going to see the difference in this, and this one you have to figure out what style of runner do you like, right? Because they're going to have to be used in different ways. Because, as you said, this guy's
Look at the speed. Ooh, look at the
he's
speed.
he's explosive, you
He
know.
is gone.
So when you look at the film, we saw no runs like that from Daniel, right? There was no one where he just broke away. Doesn't mean not fast, but this is automatic what you're talking about right at the beginning. This shows right here, like, oh, okay, This dude
That's
got some
lightning.
wheels.
That's
You know,
lightning.
Hey, you know
nobody
who
has
else got wheels?
that. What are you finna say? The official or the other guy that was at
Yeah,
least kind of tracking him down a
that
little
guy.
bit? Yeah. Oh yeah. He was hurting later on though. His hamstrings
Nah,
kind
he
of
wasn't
tight.
hurting. He wasn't hurting like the back judge in the middle of the field was hurting because that
Oh,
dude tried to
he
turn
just
around
got
and
out
hit.
of the way. He didn't try to do nothing. So yeah, I mean they getting it, man. You got to get down there, call a touchdown. He got his track form running up the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is Kevin Riley that we're watching. So different type run, right? Speed just up. You see, make cuts. Just
Look at him just take away the angle. Just take the entire angle away from the defender.
yeah. He reminded me of Donovan Lester, JT when we saw that. So it's again, what I like is the one
One
foot in the
cut. Yeah.
ground, one cut, and then going in, and you just know the speed because it doesn't even matter what he's doing. No one's even around him or touching. So wheel route out the back. We're talking about using your hands, catching the ball. Different type guy, right? This is I don't want to say Jameer Gibbs. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just talking about the
Look
speed
at
when
the
And
he.
jump cut there.
he's patient. I mean, he's
This is the vision right here. You see it, and boop, you pop out. Like that's the vision.
Hey, what'd you
That's
say,
pure
JT?
vision.
Be alert to jump cut,
mm-hmm.
right? And he's making people miss. So he's a different guy, and he's a runner. But there's some other pieces that you're going to see in here. It could be this where he's about to lower his head down. No,
Nope,
maybe
he's
not.
still
He just wanted
running
to go.
fast, folks.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Where it just he's a dude, but
Oh, here it is. Here it
you
is.
see
Ooh.
physicality breaking through, making all people get off me. Debo and people. And he's got some more hits on here where he's
Oh yeah,
actually where he's uh totally putting the
move.
shoulder.
Oh,
Get
wow.
off me, yeah, man. So so. I don't know which one of these you want to see first, but you can see how different they are, you know. And then when you're competing in this, what should make it, Stephen, where you're looking is okay, what's this guy going to look like in spring, or what are both of them, you know?
It's crazy because watching both of them, I mean, I kind of want to really see what does Kevin Riley look like in spring ball because just watching the tape here, you see the speed,
I mean,
you
look
see
at that though.
you see the spot, but then you also see the pinball contact balance of Josh Jacobs.
Watch
You
this.
see that.
Watch this. Ooh, run that back. Run that back. Did you see that?
I mean, you see the
Uh,
contact, you see the contact break
watch
tackle.
this. Get
Boom.
off me. Hey,
That,
bro.
that's Josh Jacobs right there.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, that's how you know that this is different. And I don't.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
what I like about him, and this run kind of demonstrates it, is you can see still the patience out of here, being able to make one cut and get up the field, and now he's not trying to dance and avoid people to get to the end zone. He knows that he's going to use his speed to get to the end zone, and if you just happen to be in the way after that, then I will remove you from
mm,
the way.
yep, that's right. And it's so good. Um, I mean, just physical, got some stuff in the tank, So
Jamie Wilhelm, he said, or he or she, I'm not sure, got here late. Who is this? This is Kevin Riley. This is an early enrollee running back that is currently on campus at Alabama.
And the fact that you got him to flip late from
mm,
Miami to Alabama, you got him to flip late to make that move because T County High was down for a few years. Riley helped bring that program back. They were down. They had quite a few losing seasons before last year.
mhm.
I think last year was the first time they got, I think, second or third round of the playoffs in a while. So Kevin Riley was a big reason why T County High sort of reemerged.
Man, this is absolutely amazing.
And
Okay,
more
so
patience on the screen.
that's right. That's right. So I mean, I'm looking forward to this. When I get to A Day, I kind of want to see how he ends up because just
Oh,
imagine how much stronger
jeez.
he's gonna get cutting back. I mean, just yeah, it's just I don't know, it's too easy. Um,
Oh well, here's your block for you. Watch out.
Oh,
boom. Did y'all see that? Do y'all need
yeah.
to see that again? Did y'all see who that was? JT, you might need to write your own circle on right before he gets ready to make this hit, so
I
they can
mean,
get
he just
so they can get their eyes on the right spot. Yeah,
there's
check
him.
this out.
There's the
Check
speeding
this.
bullet.
Bomb! Get out the way. Yeah, dude don't want to get up. Wildcat going through it. Okay, so JT, if I can, yeah, that's the end of it. I had to let him get a little bit of cheering. You know, you can't take your helmet off like that. Right?
Oh, well, you
That's the
can
whole
if that's the last
that's
play of the
the
game.
yeah, that's true. You walk off. Okay, yeah, no. Go back to this,
Oh,
to the Daniel tape and let it run a little bit because I want to show you something that you don't want to have on your tape. Okay. Uh, I'm gonna first of all run it back. Just run it back. I want you to look at the defense. Okay, this dude on the 35. Stop it.
oh, my bad. Hold on.
In the black. You see him. I don't know if you can even circle him. We're talking about effort. Do you have a motor? Can you actually play? He's on the 36-yard line.
This guy?
Yes. So keep your eyes on him. Run it back because these are the same people that'll be saying, "Hey, my kid is a D1 or whatever." There he is on the 30 right now. So just
Um,
watch.
that's
Just,
this dude.
just, he's
Yep.
just watching it.
So just watch on the effort, and there's certain things. So it won't show up on your highlight reel, but it shows up on other people's highlight reel, right? Tired, walking, whatever. This guy's going down the field, and there's the other ones back there that are just kind of lollygagging. Those are also things that they look at. Look at this film right here, because it's particularly when they're looking at defensive linemen. Do they actually turn and run to the ball? Right? Those are things like that. And so they show up on other people's film, and then you're scratched off the list because you got a really good highlight reel that have all your good plays, but you're not going to put that on your play, right? So my advice to the high school football player is these coaches watch the whole game. They watch your uh, highlight reel to get the interest, and then they go watch the whole game because they got access to the whole game. They pay a lot of money to have access to to the whole film, right? And then they're looking at, is he lollygagging? What is he doing? Like these guys are doing. All right, that's my piece. Woo! That's good stuff, man. All right, so for the last words for this, right? Dude, we're extremely happy, man, that you came on today, Steven. You always bring it. You do what you
Well,
do.
before we wrap up, we do have to.
Oh yeah, we got some questions.
Yes. Trainwreck says, my question is, does Coach DeBoer, if he sees Milrow not picking up his offense, go with Amac or Dylan Lonergan or stay with Milrow?
That is what's going to make this spring so interesting because I mentioned with DeBoer, there's no loyalty. So if you're not doing the job, then somebody else is going to get in here and do this job. So if Milrow is up there handling the business, then yes, it's going to be Milrow. But if there's some struggles and it's some complications with him getting this offense, you could see Austin Mack. And I wouldn't be shocked because you go back to last spring, there were a lot of the young players that were saying that Dylan Lonergan's the best quarterback in the room. So don't be surprised if Lonergan gets a shot in here, if Matt gets a shot in here, especially if there is complications with Milrow with this offense.
Yeah, I agree. I think that you just can't. I don't think it's. Hey, this is your job and your job only. I think
Well,
there's going to be
just like you
competition.
said in uh, the last live show when we were talking about Kalen DeBoer taking over and what happens when coaches get fired or retired. Um, Everybody's contracts are essentially terminated. That goes for starting positions as well.
That's right. That's right. You
Yep.
got to earn it. You know, I try to talk on that. I don't know if you had any
Thank you, not the kill stream, for the 4.99 super chat. It says Steven Smith leading the charge for a night game a day.
Thank you, sir. We do appreciate that, and this is we're very thankful to you, Mister. Not the kill stream. All right. Okay. So what I was going to say was about the when you have coaching changes. I actually went through that part. I don't think you had a coaching change at any point in time in your career, JT. Did you high school or
I did have a coaching
college?
change. Chris Creighton left and took the job at Eastern Michigan.
Oh yeah, that's right. So there's that piece of who brought you in, what kind of loyalties you had. I had a lot of angst when Bill Curry left because I didn't know who the coach is going to be. They were going to really like me. What do I got to prove? They're going to bring in their own guys. So there's some of that. But I decided to stay, and it worked out well. And I think it can work out for these guys too. They're good. They're athletic. They can play. Every year they're always trying to over recruit you. Is that the right way to say it? Over recruit you. There's somebody behind you. They're trying to figure out who the next
Oh yeah, no,
person
and
is.
I tell that to
Um,
guys all the time when high schoolers, they try to try to remind them or tell them for the first time of, like, you have to understand what your coach's job is. He's got two jobs. He's got the job of coaching you and making you the best player that you can be for their system. But his other job is, and I asked and said, what do you think it is? And like, oh, recruiting. I said, yes, but do you know what that actually means? It's like, yeah, they got to go find. And I was like, no, recruiting means finding somebody better than you right now to come in right now, not finding your backup. That's not what they're doing. They're finding your replacement.
yep.
Now, I'll say this: probably the one coaching turnover that I had that actually really helped me was when our special teams coach, Coach Turner, left. Coach Turner left to go pursue his career in being a lawyer, and we brought Coach Carpenter in. He was running a program in Birmingham. That was literally the first time where I thought, okay, I'm going to get a real fair shot at this thing. Because I remember Coach Carpenter sat there and he looked at me. He was like, Steve, I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't see no physical gifts here when I look at you, but I see a dude that's going to give flat out effort. So I'm going to give you every shot out here. So I remember Coach Carpenter came in. One of my first shots was me on special teams. I played every special teams. I played kickoff. I played kick return, punt coverage. Played it all. So I remember the first time I was out there on kickoff team. Coach had then told me, Steven, just run like you possessed. I've seen your tape. You run like you stone crazy. Just go out there, run like you flat possessed. Hit. I don't care if the person got the ball or not. Just hit the first person you see. So I sat there. So I said, Coach, say less. They kicked the ball off. I'm running down there, knock out like two people. I jump on top of the guy, strip the ball from him. I'm trying to recover the ball. My teammate recovers it. I lose my cleat in the ground. The whole time, the head coach is like, Carpenter, why you got Steven out there on the field? And Coach Carpenter like, Coach, he doing what I told him to do. Leave him alone. Don't put a saddle on him. Just let him be him. Let him go out there and be as wild as he want to be. He made a tackle. He just stripped the ball out. Leave that man alone.
That's right. That's true. If you make a play, you do that. All right.
And at that point, I knew Coach Carpenter cared about me. And he stayed for 1 year. He did not stay for my senior year. He came my junior year and left. That made me fine man.
Well, you crazy. JT, you got any more questions on there that we need to hit before we go, or comments that we need to see or address?
Yeah, I'm trying to find. Slab Buster asked first if you are still in contact with Coach Stallings, and then how is he doing?
Yeah, I am still in contact with Coach Stallings. He is doing, I guess, as well as he can be for this. You got to know how many times he's had strokes and things of that nature. He's still stubborn as he can be. I actually just got an email about him today, ironically, that you even say that there's I don't even know how I'm supposed to say it. I'm just going to say be on the lookout for a big tribute to him coming up from former players and different things because he's slowing down a little bit, and you have to start preparing for things like this. You don't want to ever say anybody's gonna pass away or something of that nature, but he's moving a little bit slower, and guys are starting to rally around him. So I'm expecting something pretty big. A lot of his former players to try to get the word back out about who he is and what he stood for. All right.
And then the last one, I don't know. I think maybe Steven might be the only one that has an idea. But B Jammin asks, I'm just curious who will end up returning punts next season.
That's a good question. So there's a list of guys that could do it. Emmanuel Henderson's one of them. He was supposed to have been the punt returner last year, got a hip injury in fall camp, wasn't able to do it. So you got Emmanuel Henderson back healthy, he could do it. Cole Adams could do it. That's the second guy. Let's see here. You got Emmanuel Henderson, you got Cole Adams. Kobe Prentice could do it if he wanted to, but I don't know if you would put Kobe Prentice back there. Kendrick Law could do it. Do you want to put K Law back there though? But it's the catch-22 with all of this is when you put one of your best players back there to do it, it's always the fear of what if they get hurt. Yep. I.e. Eddie Jackson when that happened. And folks was like, why Saban did you put Eddie Jackson back there? Our best safety, and he got hurt. But Eddie was
going to get hurt on that play. He was
the best one to do it.
He's the best one.
He was the best one to do it. So there's a number of guys that could do it. It just comes down to, number one, which one can catch the ball cleanly and not misjudge the balance of the ball every time. And then number two, which one can provide you the sense of excitement when they do catch the ball.
You know what I think should happen in this situation? I think we need to find the person just going to go down there, run crazy, just run into stuff. All them things Stephen Smith just talked about. You got some eligibility left. You need to go out there and walk on, put the pads on just for one punt return, brother.
George, I got a semester of COVID eligibility left. I got a semester of COVID eligibility left. You know what? I thought about it. Go ahead on, walk in. They'll put a helmet on me. And then they'll be in the background praying.
They ain't got no pants to fit you. Your pants be fitting like some horse jockey pants or something. Hey,
JT, here's the prayer. Lord, please don't let us kill this man. This man I am. Man, 30 years old trying to fulfill a dream. Man, don't let us kill him, man.
Hey, we could do 30 for 30 on this. Hey,
we really could. We really could.
Okay, well, JT, anything else, man, before we put this up, wrap this up? I just want to, because, all the thank yous I need to give just to the viewers, the fans. Thank you for all that you're doing for the Bama Standard. Thank you for what you're doing for Teague's Take, being loyal. The Teagster group is growing tremendously.
Rapidly. So if you are on the Bama Standard and you haven't subscribed to Teague's Take, that's youtube.com/@Teague's Take, please do so, because we're trying to grow as well. We have a Q&A video that we owe you, because I put out the call at I think like 900 subscribers to say once we got to 1,000 that we do a Q&A video, and then a week later you've got us up to 1,400 and some change. So we can't thank you enough for that. We owe you. It's coming. And
grandbaby's getting away.
Well, yeah, and I was supposed to send a link. I guess I'll have to send it to Justin so he can put it on his community page, so folks can ask you or me some questions. I only put it on our channel right now.
Yeah, that one we're supposed to do. We just want to sit back, get your red Solo cup, put your orange juice in it or whatever it is that you want in it. We just want to sit down and talk and have a good time. You guys ask questions like this. How do I feel about Bill Curry, or what was it like being around Gene Stallings, or any other stuff that you want, or just any modern day stuff? Because a lot of people, hey, what is my opinion on the portal and the NIL? Let's just talk about it. This is the time where we can just sit back and relax and don't have to get too deep in it.
Why does JT have a category for food flavors?
Because flavors and sensations are not the same.
Well, see, this the part where you both say, what it say, how it started and how it's going.
how it's
You guys
going.
are right. Yeah, you guys are right back to the same thing. So that gives me right there that we need to call this thing a day. Steven, thank you very much for everything that you do, man. We appreciate you. Y'all give him a follow over on Twitter, Coaching M. Smith on X. We are going to be back next week, though. Don't forget that. We're going to be back next Wednesday.
Well, thank you for telling me.
Yeah, the 30-minute version, JT, the 30-minute version.
That's right.
Just for them only. Okay? So we're going to catch you guys later, but this is Teague's Take. We're out of here. Peace.